As time passes and we start working more and more and growing here in Serbia, many of the Serbian community ask, is it true that many of the people in Canada and the United States are actually looking to leave those countries? Because here in Serbia, a lot of people think that Serbia is bad and there's nothing good here, and they are brainwashed perhaps by the propaganda that they see out on the TVs, that Canada and the United States is some sort of promised land. And being that we work with many clients from both of those countries, helping them relocate to Serbia in one way, shape, or form, I'm going to talk to you about a couple articles today that will show you how many people are actually leaving Canada and the United States and what the future predicts when it comes to that change. Now, not only have we worked with Canadians and people from the United States, I would say it's a 50-50 split from people that have no ties to Serbia to people who have left Serbia once, or people that left Serbia and had children, and now those children are looking to come to Serbia to obtain citizenship by descent, or people that are looking to come back to Serbia from former Yugoslavia and looking to reestablish life. Because one thing that is for sure is that Canada and the United States is not once what it used to be. Yes, someone like myself, I can tell you firsthand, Canada was great 10, 20 years ago, but that train has gone, and that boat has sailed, and it's never coming back, in my opinion, especially with what is happening there with mass immigration, the political division that we have there, and simply the culture that does not exist anymore. Something that Serbia has here, and I'm not saying that Serbia is the promised land and that we don't have political problems here as well. No country is perfect. I've said that before. But one thing is for sure, many people are leaving those once promised lands, as United States and Canada, and looking for other places such as Serbia. Now, the first one I'm going to read is from the New York Post here, and it talks about, in a recent survey, that 17% of Americans said that they'd like to move outside of the United States in the next 5 years, with Canada being the top destination. Now, as you can see from this article and what Americans think, they are also not understanding what the current living conditions are in Canada. And it goes on to say that the following: the survey of 2,000 American adults found that another 5% said that they'll actually make the move soon to live abroad in the next few years. And 2% of American adults already have plans in place and have started the process of transplanting to another country within the next 5 years. And this, is a huge red flag when you see, like, Trump is here and they're supposed to be prosperous country in the next 4 years, but people are looking, and smart in the United States, is what happens after Trump. And I'm not saying Trump is the best president out there. I have no clue what he's doing there. I have no ties to the United States. I visited the United States. Sure, it was fun visiting, but is it a place that I want to live? No, not at all. And again, even if Trump does succeed in making the country great again, like his slogan goes, who's to say that the next clown that comes in is not going to completely reverse everything that he has done? Now, this article moves on to say that a lot Midwesterners, 18%, are most likely to say that they wanted to move internationally, compared to Americans in the Southwest, Southeast, and Northeast, all combined is 16%. More than 4 in 10 respondents, 44%, have said that they wanted to experience expat life, and seeing which destinations respondents have their eyes on. Canada, 19%, topped the list as a country with the most appeal, and I'm not sure why. And they continue to say here, the reasons include Canada's high quality healthcare. I would really love to understand where they understand the high quality healthcare. Is it maybe because it's free healthcare? And just to touch on that, just because it's free does not mean it's high quality or good in any regard, especially if these individuals are moving to southwestern Ontario or Alberta, like some of the where most of the people do move. They're going to find that they're going to be waiting longer and longer and longer, maybe a year and a half, maybe 2 years to get simple procedures done. And in that time, they'll be offered MAID so that they don't have to exist anymore and not have to deal with the health conditions that they're currently going through. The next one that they're talking about is the landscape, which offers ample opportunities for fun and exploration. I could agree with that. The outdoors of Canada is absolutely beautiful, but only in the summer, I would say. In the winter, I don't know if you want to go in the northern part of Ontario, if you want to go in BC, in the northern part and explore that, because it gets quite cold, sometimes down to minus 40 degrees Celsius. And if you're in southwestern Ontario around all the Great Lakes, then you have that lake effect snowfall coming in, as well as the wind chill that is completely different from what you'll experience in a lot of places in United States. And then the nation's practical approach to work-life balance. 21% think that there's a better work-life balance in Canada, which I've touched on this before in plenty of videos, where the work-life balance is work 10 to 12 hours a day, travel at least 1 hour to work in one direction, and so that's 14 hours a day that you're just at work. And then, talk about coming back home. That 1 hour is going to be, God forbid, you're on the 401, probably about 2 hours. So call it, 15 hours, and then you're literally coming home, having dinner, and then going to sleep and doing that all over again. And not to mention that you have very, very high taxes in Canada. You have the PST, GST, and federal tax that come in on top of that. Plus, you got the carbon tax that has slipped back in somehow, and all the other things that come along. And so I would highly advise the Americans watching this video that they do their due diligence when it comes to looking at Canada as an option, because it's not what you think it is and not what you may see in some of the advertisements out there. Now, moving over to our Canadians who are looking to leave, we're looking at the Better Dwelling article here. I will leave all these articles, like I always do, in the description of this video so that you can read the rest of the articles, because I will not read the full article. Now, this one here starts off with Canadians are leaving for good in record high volumes. This should speak volumes to the Americans that are looking to move to Canada. Why is it that Canadians that have lived there most of their lives, like myself for instance, are looking to move somewhere else outside of Canada? It's because it's not what it once used to be. It's not what you're promised when you get in there. Canada's temporary population boom may be over, but its long-time residents outflow is just beginning. Statistics at Canada data shows emigration, not immigration. Emigration is people leaving. The act of citizens or permanent residents permanently leaving jumped higher in Q1 of 2025. Canadians left in the second highest Q1 volume on record, a trend that only gained momentum since the pandemic. And I've touched on why many people have left since the pandemic, simply because we had some of the harshest lockdowns in human history, next to, I believe, Australia, if I'm not mistaken. Canadians' emigration, it's like capital flight, but with talent. And this is another thing that is important to note. It's not just the people that are leaving, but who the people are. It's the people that actually have skills, have some sort of knowledge, have some sort of degrees. They are leaving and taking that knowledge and education with them, and then applying it and investing it into other countries like we see here at Relocation Serbia, a lot of the Canadians are coming here and setting up shop and setting up businesses and taking what they've learned over there and doing it over here. And for the benefit of Serbia, of course, it's not going to benefit Canada. And the best part is we, as Canadians, don't have double taxation by being in Serbia and in Canada. We have a tax treaty with Serbia and Canada, and so you'd only pay the taxes here in Serbia, which is much lower, may I just inform you, than it is in Canada. So it's anywhere between 10 and 15%, depending on how you structure your life. And that's something we can help Canadians with and have helped Canadians with here at Relocation Serbia. Emigration is when Canadians residents leave the country permanently. Outflow happened, but persistent and rising outflows indicate growing discontent with local conditions, whether it's economic, political, housing, or brain drain. Ultimately, it signals a country failing to offer opportunity or inspire long-term confidence. It's not just any group leaving either. It's primarily talented, prime-aged workers with most opportunities. So one thing I can tell you is I fall in that category. My wife falls in that category. I'm in what I would say is my prime age. I feel much better now than I did ever in my 20s, even though some people say I may be in my 20s, depending on who you ask. So as an electrician in Canada, I was consistently hounded on working more because they brought in all these immigrants into the country that didn't know how to do anything in the skilled trades, and they would get paid the same as me, and then if I didn't want to work overtime or something like that, somehow that was bad. So it's not only that you're not given the best opportunity, but you have people that show up into the country that have no skilled training, have no qualifications, coming into the country within 6 months, getting paperwork and being able to earn the same amount as you did, that has strived in that country and worked towards that paperwork for the course of 5, 6, 7 years, depending on what it is, especially when it comes to an electrician like I did. It took 5 years just to finish the apprenticeship, and then another 3 years to get your master's, so on and so forth. And same with when it comes to teaching. A lot of teachers are leaving because they're not getting what they needed to do, and they're leaving and starting their own businesses, teaching English abroad or whatever their subject might be. Policymakers don't pay much attention to the gross volumes, preferring net numbers. As long as they can make more Canadians than they lose, a worker is a worker. Replacing an experienced worker with fresh graduate isn't a straight trade, at least not immediately. It ignores the fact that Canadian talent is also some of the most coveted in the world. Training new talents while ignoring losses after they're trained isn't a benefit to Canada. It's a competitive edge to the countries we're losing these people to. So like I've said, those individuals that are leaving Canada and coming to countries like here in Serbia are giving countries like Serbia that competitive edge. And like I've said to many of the people that come here to set up businesses, there's a lot of opportunity for you to come and bring some of those skills that you've learned in Canada and adapt it here and be able to prosper in that said business regardless of what it is. There's whatever. You can even come here as an electrician like I did myself and come here and make some decent money as a tradesperson, either as an employee or coming here and setting up shop and making your own business happen here. And I can tell you, if that's something that you're looking to do, you will do fantastic in that business because it is something that is highly in demand. And what I want to say is that to the Americans that are looking to move to Canada, reading articles like this is something that you should do because, maybe turn that light switch on is why are people that have been there for so long leaving when we are looking to move to that country. It's not all, milk and honey, like we like to say here in Serbia. You may want to explore other countries that are not as advertised as much as the promised land or the best work-life balance, because I can tell you right now, and my wife, for someone, and many of the other people that we've talked to that have come to visit here and went back and said, hey, listen, we're coming back because we really feel that the work-life balance thing is actually figured out here in Serbia. You guys know how to work and live. There's no work, 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 and then you live a little bit. It's more live than work, and that's something beautiful that can be respected from people that don't understand what that is, and that you can go out in the middle of the day and have coffee for a couple hours and not get rushed out of restaurants because you're finished your meal and you're just treated as a number. Here you can come and absolutely enjoy life, and being that we are in the tourist season right now, and if you have plans to go travel anywhere in Europe, I would highly recommend you come and visit Serbia, come and experience what life is like here, and then go back to your country and think about where you truly want to move. And if you're looking to move to Serbia, reach out to us. We are here to help make that transition that much easier, and so that you can just come here and start life as it should. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.